So I'm sure you all have seen or at least heard of Colossal, the De-Extinction company bringing back the direwolf, which was an extinct wolf species. Colossal has also announced their plans to bring back many other animals like thylacine, woolly mammoths, and dodo birds. Now, for the most part, this has had everyone very excited, but as technology evolves, there's always this fear within people that we might get too carried away with our technology. For example, AI. AI is evolving quickly. Yes, it's cool and can make for some very useful tools, but there's also a lot of bad that it can be used for. AI images and video has recently become a pretty popular thing and is now fully accessible to the public. Once again, it can be useful, but I think it's pretty obvious how that can be used in bad ways. So de-extinction is the new biggest and most exciting invention. Some people even say it's alongside the invention of the internet. But should we be doing this? Isn't this playing God, some people would say? And is it possible we could get carried away with bringing back extinct animals? Well, yeah, it's possible we could get carried away and really screw up the environment by putting back animals that aren't supposed to be there, as we've seen many times how easily an invasive species can completely ruin an ecosystem. But so far, it seems like Colossal is being very mindful and cautious of what they're doing. They don't plan on releasing those direwolves, they're mainly prioritizing bringing back animals that went extinct because of humans and are our responsibility to put back. They definitely know the impact this could have on the environment, like bringing back mammoths and thylacine. Now, I don't work at Colossal, but I'm sure they've had meetings and discussed multiple times how this will affect the environment. The people working at Colossal are very smart people. They're working with many scientists who have been studying this for years, and all they've done is basically given them the money to actually make de-extinction possible. They have wildlife experts and conservationists working alongside them, and I'm sure they've discussed both the benefits and the dangers of bringing back these animals. So is de-extinction a good thing? Well, the short answer is yes. Like I said before, as of right now, Colossal is prioritizing bringing back animals that went extinct because of humans, like the thylacine. Thylacine went extinct in Tasmania almost 100% because of humans. In the early 20th century, there was actually a bounty put on their heads by the government as they were seen as a threat to livestock. Before we knew it, the last one was shot in the wild, and shortly after, the last one died in the Hobart Zoo. So not only does it suck that such an amazing creature went extinct, but the thylacine played an incredibly important role in the Tasmanian ecosystem. They were the apex predator of the island. No other predator was as big or controlled the prey populations as well as the thylacine did, and there was really nothing to replace it. There's actually other instances of this happening where we remove an apex predator and saw how dramatically it can affect an ecosystem. The example I like to use is when they removed wolves from Yellowstone. For those of you who don't know, in 1926 they completely eradicated wolves from Yellowstone as they were seen as a threat. Coincidentally, that's around the same time frame as when the thylacine went extinct. Wolves were the apex predators in Yellowstone. Yes, there are bears and cougars, but they don't kill nearly as much things as the wolves did. When they officially removed them, there were massive changes in the food chain. The prey population skyrocketed, and as a result, all the vegetation like grass, bushes, leaves were being eaten up by the grazing species very fast. As time went on, this created a crazy butterfly effect and chain of events that actually ended up changing the flow and the shape of the rivers in Yellowstone. Keep in mind, this is all because we removed one species from the food chain. This goes to show how fragile an ecosystem can be and shows how removing a key species such as an apex predator can create such a domino effect that will eventually collapse an ecosystem. In 1995, wolves were reintroduced into the park. It took a while, but ultimately the prey populations were controlled, which reversed the damage that had been done and even fixed the flow of the rivers. So going back to the extinction of the thylacine, you can kind of see the connection of these two events and how they're similar. Wolves were removed from Yellowstone, the ecosystem almost collapsed, but they were eventually reintroduced. Thylacine were removed from Tasmania, and we are seeing some very negative effects in the environment, which I'll get to in a sec, but they still haven't been replaced. Ever since thylacine went extinct in Tasmania, prey populations have rapidly gone up, and as a result, terrible disease such as facial tumor disease has spread around the native animals as there is no predator to kill off the diseased prey. This is the result of a chain reaction caused by the extinction of the thylacine and is clear evidence of an imbalance in the ecosystem. So Colossal is saying that they're going to recreate thylacine to the best of their ability. I don't know how exactly they're going to do that, but if they do, they're going to breed a bunch and eventually rewild them into Tasmania. Which, by the way, is a whole nother project. Recreating a thylacine is one thing, but to teach them their predatory instincts and rewild them is a whole nother thing. And we'll see how they're going to do that in the next little while. So the goal of this project is to put back a species that we removed. Humans are responsible for the extinction of the thylacine, and Tasmania is suffering because of it, so it's our job to put it back, make up for our mistakes. So to me, yes, I think it's a very good thing if they can actually pull it off, because not only is it cool to bring back a thylacine, but we can actually fix the imbalance in the ecosystem, which is Tasmania, and try to make up for a problem that we caused, which I think is the right way to use de-extinction. Woolly mammoths are another species Colossal is trying to bring back. Now, it's not confirmed whether humans were the cause of the mammoths going extinct, but it's likely we played a role in their extinction. The motivation to bring back mammoths is that it's believed they will stop the carbon emissions in the Arctic that are trapped in the permafrost, which is a topic for another video, but long story short, scientists believe they will help with climate change. And Colossal wants to bring back mammoths so they can rewild them to help this problem. So if you ask me, yes, I think de-extinction is a good thing if done correctly and used for conservation. I and many others believe that it will really help the environment in some places, which is always a good thing. But yes, if we decide to bring back dinosaurs and release them, that would be a terrible idea, because we weren't responsible for the extinction of dinosaurs. The wild doesn't need them. But something like a thylacine, we were responsible for their extinction, so I believe it's our job to put them back. Let me know what you guys think, but that's going to be it for today, guys. See ya.